Eventprofs, what's next? I'm Sabrina Meyers from HotHospitalityExchange. And in this series, this video podcast series, I'm meeting up with and catching up with Eventprofs from all around the globe and finding out how they are adapting their businesses and what they've been doing in this current climate. So today, joining me is Ronald. And Ronald and I actually met on when I was moderating an Event MB session on one of their virtual events. And we've been keeping in touch online, and a particular LinkedIn post that he did really pretty much sparked off this project and this session. So I'm going to hand it over to Ronald now, who's going to introduce himself and tell us a little bit about who he is, what he does, and where he's based. Over to you, Ronald.
Thanks, Sabrina. Hi, everyone. I'm actually based in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I see myself as a business event strategist and technologist. So I've been doing this for over 15 years now. And today I actually co-own 3 companies in Asia. The oldest one is called Think Event, a 7-year-old corporate event management company. And then I also co-own a AV technology provider called Creative Rock. Conference People is the newest, where we do conferences for our clients, associations, but at the same time, we also want to create our own brand of conferences in the future.
Very cool.
I'm based in Kuala Lumpur at the moment, but I'm actually born in Sarawak.
Okay, so you're in KL. Okay, excellent.
Yes, I'm in KL, that's right. Yeah.
All right, so I reached out to you after seeing a LinkedIn post that you did. And it was about a pop-up virtual studio collaboration. And this post was particularly about a collaboration with the Hilton Kuala Lumpur. Firstly, can you tell me what is a pop-up virtual studio?
All right. Well, the pop-up virtual studio concept is to repurpose an existing event space, turn it into a virtual ready space where corporate organizers or event companies can actually come in and rent the space. We have all the gears ready, and it's actually a win-win situation between the venue owner and the AV partner, in this case, the Creative Rock. The idea actually popped up back in March when we had our first lockdown. So the first week of the lockdown, we were not too sure what's actually happening. We thought maybe 2 weeks from then we could actually get back to normal. But second week came along, lockdown got extended, then we realized that we are in deep shit. So being a tech geek, just a little bit background of myself. I'm actually a software developer before I joined the industry.
Oh, wow.
Before I joined the event industry, yeah. So researching for the right platform, that was fun, back then. But at that time, we only have webinar platforms and very small number of virtual event platforms. But we have done hybrid before COVID. We have done big scientific congresses where, we have live events, but yet we still stream it for online audiences. But the only difference back then was there's not much engagement. Yeah. Because the focus was more on the live event audience. What we thought of during that time is that, we have all these venues, we have hotels, we have convention centers. So we started talking to hotels, like, why don't we partner up? And this actually, we got inspired by On Air Studio in Sydney, where they actually converted SMC function centers. I can't remember the full name of this venue. Yeah. So they created, or they repurposed some of their function room into a virtual studio. So basically there's like a green room, a lounge area for the speakers to get ready to do prep. Then there's an area where there's just an LED screen with a stage, cameras ready. Organizers or the speakers just have to pop in. You just, you can actually come in the day before just do recording or to do a live stream if you want to.
Fantastic.
That's how we got started.
Can you tell me more about how you are collaborating with hotels and pop-up studios? Are you approaching them? Is it quite a two-way thing? How is the collaboration working?
We approached the hotel with the idea, but not all hotel actually accept the idea. So we are very blessed that Hilton Kuala Lumpur actually trust us and join us in this whole collaboration. But I think the key thing that the venue provider must have is to understand that it's a collaboration. So they must have that partnership mindset to begin with. Our challenge with some hotels that we approach is they treat us like a vendor. So the question that they will ask is, so how much are you selling to us? And how much can I make when I sell it to our clients?
What's in it for me? Yeah.
Correct. We can't, it's a win-win situation. So when we come in as a AV partner or virtual solution partner for Houston, Kuala Lumpur, we actually not just provide the whole AV hardware only. So we actually do consulting work as well for their clients.
Okay.
Because we have to understand that the sales team in the hotel, they are not tech savvy. So you can't expect them to be able to sell their property at the same time advise the clients how to do virtual events.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a very good point. That's a super, super good point, because traditionally, well, to this point, the sales people of hotels have never had to be tech savvy to this level, especially with virtual events.
Correct. Yeah. So we saw the gap, and then we just wanted to help the hotels as well. Because you can't expect the salesperson to learn about audiovisual, about virtual overnight. There's no way.
Yeah.
And we see that there's also an opportunity where we can actually come in to help them to close sales. So our role is not just setting it up and running on the day itself, but our role actually come in from the inquiry of the lead. Yeah.
Fantastic. That's brilliant. Now, you mentioned that you are able to offer clients the perfect one-stop virtual studio for any multi-city broadcast. Can you elaborate on that further, as in what is included in this one-stop, offer?
All right. So Creative Rock, we actually have offices in Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, and also in South Korea.
Okay.
So for Singapore, we also have a virtual studio, but we have our own place. So it's not a collaboration with any hotel, but we do have our own physical studio. In Thailand, at this point, we are actually working with another international brand on the same collaboration deal. We are still in the process of negotiating it. So that should, hopefully by January, we will be able to launch that as well. So same goes for South Korea in Seoul as well. So even among our different offices in different cities, we can already coordinate that. So just yesterday, we did a crossover between Malaysia and Singapore. So our client is in Malaysia, but they also have office or the factories in Singapore.
Yeah.
So what we did was we actually sent our Singapore team into the factory to do a live crossover to this event.
Fantastic.
That's so it makes it easier for the client to find an AV partner or a supplier who can actually help them with the whole entire solution, rather than, and we can actually safely say that we know whoever that is doing it in Singapore or in Bangkok or in Seoul, because it's not a first time working together. We have been working together for years now, so we know each other. We know we already have that chemistry. So it is so much easier to actually execute a multi-city crossover events when it comes to virtual.
Fantastic. And I think it's so great because you've got such a bigger footprint, and you are able to offer clients that flexibility and the extra options of multi-city. And also in your offer, do you, I'm assuming that you can also look after if accommodation was required in these hotels or locally. F&B options, all of that can also be included within your service offering, right?
Yes, because we noticed that we have clients who come to us and say, for example, we are working on a project where one of the speakers is actually based in London.
Okay.
Another one is actually based in Berlin. So we are able to actually coordinate that for our client as well, because Creative Rock is also a member of AV Alliance.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard of AV Alliance?
I've heard of AV Alliance, yeah. So
Yep.
it's a global alliance for
Correct.
production, right?
For
audiovisual
yes, that's
production.
right. So being a member of AV Alliance, we have to go through a very, very strict test, or there's
Criteria.
a very, very criteria to be a member. So for us to reach out to another member of AV Alliance, let's say in the States or in any part of Europe, it's easy. You know, all we have to do is just to reach out to the CEO of the company, and they will get somebody to work on it. And we can trust another member of AV Alliance, because it's not just anyone who wants to be a member of AV Alliance can be a member.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we know there's like a high standard of, correct.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about that standard, or what's going to happen on behalf of your clients, because you know that they will hit the mark every time, and you don't have to worry about that extra stress in terms of deliverables, right?
Yes, and we all speak the same jargon, so it's easy
that's true. That's also important. It's probably like completely alien speak to me. Like I would not understand a single thing, but it helps. It helps to know the jargon in any industry, especially. So, if a hotel or venue was interested in building or collaborating on a pop-up studio, what would be the minimum requirements needed in order to do so? Like if they came to you and said, "We want to do this. We want to work with you." What do we need to have?
I think the most important thing is the mindset of, to collaborate. A lot of people may think that they understand what it means to collaborate, but I can safely tell you that's not the case. Mindset is one. Two is definitely the space that they have.
Yeah.
They must be able to actually have one of the room to turn into a studio.
Okay.
So that itself, let's say if we have our hardware in there without taking it out, then put it in again, every time there's an event, that will help the client to actually save a lot of cost as well. And
does it have to be a minimum size, like space requirement, or like it has to be a certain size room?
We work with around 150 square meters.
Okay.
Yeah. Ceiling height of 3.5 meters. I think that's a good start.
Okay.
And I think most venues here will be able to achieve that. And one thing which is very important is the internet line.
Yes, vital.
Yes.
Absolutely vital. Okay, so we've got space, internet line, well, I would say broadband capacity, and mindset being the most important one. That's absolutely true. And how has the response been? I guess both from the venue and the client side, how has the response been?
I must say that the response, to be very, very honest, is actually very positive. But because of the second lockdown, everything got pushed. But there's a lot of inquiries that came in 2 weeks ago, mostly for kickoff event for next year. We see that conferences that supposed to be in person for June around Q2 to Q3, they have decided that let's not gamble. Let's just plan virtual instead of hoping that we can go physical. Yeah. So
which seems to be quite the mindset of the industry right now. I'm kind of feeling, right? But we know that virtual will never go back to what it was. It's evolved to such a high level, and I think live events will also integrate that in. So I think it's going to be an interesting future for one. And now a last question for you, because just before we got into this session, you talked about something you started at the first lockdown, which really I am so inspired to hear that I think, I think it's important for everyone watching to know about it. Tell me about the Tribe Digital Campus.
Okay. Tribe Digital Campus is actually an online education platform for Eventprofs, completely free, sponsored by the Business Event Sarawak, or formerly known as Sarawak Convention Bureau. So we started working on this idea during the lockdown. We pitched the idea of having virtual education sessions. Initially, it was just 2 to 3 sessions, and it kind of evolved into a campus, a digital campus, and we are happy to say that we will be continuing for 2021 as well. So we have been running courses or webinars for Eventprofs. We have over 380 campus members at this point. They're not just from Sarawak, but we have people from all over, including from Thailand, Singapore, and Australia as well. So we have courses to help Eventprof to upskill during this time, to help them not just for their business, but also we have courses that targets or aim on personal development.
So like personal branding and visibility and things like this as well. Yeah. Fantastic. That's such an amazing initiative. And I'm congratulations on that. I think it's such a great example of how we can turn a negative situation into something positive. And also from a convention bureau's perspective, like a Business Event Sarawak, for them to have this progressive vision of how can we continue to market our destination, but use something so important like education to do it and be a facilitator, which I think is amazing. It's such a fantastic example, and kudos to you. And
they are very forward thinking, and they are, especially the CEO, Amelia, she is willing to accept new ideas, and I think that's amazing, and I think that's what leaders should be like today.
Absolutely.
Try new things, because there's, especially in current time, you can't sit and wait.
You just got to do it. You just got to see the opportunity, hear it, and then just go all in and see what does it lead to, because you don't know if you don't try. So,
and for Eventprofs, I think same thing, we shouldn't just wait and and see how things gonna be next year. I believe if we all can collaborate, come together, brainstorm, we definitely can think of something. Have brilliant Eventprofs from all over the world.
We do. We have so many. This is what we were discussing, and we're gonna bridge the gap. We're gonna bring everyone together. We're gonna try to get all that talent and all that expertise and share it with each other all around the world. I think that is incredibly important. And I am so thankful for you giving me your time and telling me about your amazing collaborations and initiatives. And for everyone watching, thank you for watching the session with myself and Ronald. Please go on to follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. We are on quite a lot of different platforms. We follow each other, so follow us and stay up in touch with the industry updates of what's happening in Asia Pacific, as well as in Europe, UK, Scandinavia, and also stay tuned for the next episode of Eventprofs. What's next? There's something very, very exciting coming up. And thank you very much, and stay tuned to the next one. Thanks, Ronald.
Bye.
Bye.